Greetings YouTube, this is Sixus, and today I'm bringing you a deck profile of my Dark Magician deck. So starting off with the main deck, we, as you can probably guess, won 3 copies of Dark Magician. It's a level 7 vanilla that I'm sure everyone playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Already knows about. So moving on to the rest of the cards, we have Magician of Dark Illusion. So this one's a level 7 with the reversed stats of Dark Magician. Its effect is that its name becomes Dark Magician while on the field. Unfortunately, it doesn't apply in the graveyard, which would have been great, and increase the amount you could bring it back. But moving into the rest of the effects, it does have a self-special summon whenever you activate a spell, trap, or effect during your opponent's turn. And additionally, if you activate a spell or trap card while it's already on the field, you can special summon 1 Dark Magician from your graveyard. However, at this point it decided to turn into a lineup card, as it says that this can only be applied once while it's face up on the field. So yeah, very useful for a 7. It can revive Dark Magician, so you can easily bring out a rank 7. Next up, we got 2 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. This one is a level 6, 2000 attack. You can discard any card, special summon this from your hand, and when you do this, or rather when it's normal special summon in general, you can add 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. Great means of sorting out your essential playmaker. And also, it has a Honest Neo style effect, where if another Dark Spellcaster you control is battling your opponent's monster during the damage calculation, you can send this from your hand or field to the graveyard, have that Dark Spellcaster gain 2000 attack. Then we've got 3 copies of Dark Magician Girl. The effect is it gains 300 attack for each Dark Magician in the graveyard, or Magician of Black Chaos. And this does apply to each graveyard. But yeah, we're not really using it for the effect itself, it's more so for the name, as you can see once we get to some of the support cards. And then for one of the 2 normal summons of the deck, because in case you haven't noticed, most of these are very high level monsters. But as far as Magician's Ward, it's upon normal summon, you can add 1 spell or trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician and its text to your hand, which is a great such. And on top of that, here's the graveyard effect, which I haven't found useful really. I mean, I can understand the benefit of it, but it's never seemed worth it to me. You see, during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap card or effect, you can tribute 1 spellcaster you control and add this card from your graveyard back to your hand. So bring it back to your hand so you can also get another such. I can understand why, but I don't understand why you would want to sacrifice a spellcaster for that. And your other normal summon of the deck is Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. When this card is normal summon or flip face up, you can add 1 Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand, which leads us directly into Spellbook of Secrets. This just lets you add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to your hand, so we can either search out the Magician of Prophecy, or you could use it to search out Spellbook of Knowledge, which lets you send 1 spellcaster or spellbook card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Pretty good draw 2 when it comes to spellcaster decks. And yeah, the obvious way of doing this is just to get the most deck thing out of it. So you can either secrets into Magician, search out knowledge, or knowledge, search out secrets to search out knowledge. And then tribute the prophecy, the Magician of Prophecy, in order to draw 2 cards. Now, we're on to the wheeled fusion of the deck. I say wheeled fusion because, well, this is the only card that makes Dark Magician an archetype. This is the one card that actually lets Dark Magician monster. So why, to be honest, when that makes an archetype, that actually makes it worse because it doesn't list Dark Magician in its text. It just specifies Dark Magician monster. So it's not searchable off of Ward. If it was, it would be a lot better. But on to the way this fusion works. You can target one Dark Magician monster you control, fusion summon one fusion monster from the extract that specifically lists that monster on the field as a fusion material. And there's a hard one for turn on it. Now, if this said specifically Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, which is the only 2 you can use this with, if it really did work, it would be very interesting with Skill Dark Magician, but no, it can't even interact with Skill Dark Magician. It's just specifically those 2 cards. So yeah, I don't know why they decided to make that one not state them individually. Now, moving on, we got Dark Magic Attack. If you control a Dark Magician, it's pretty much just a Harpy's Feather Duster. Destroy your opponent's spell and trap cards. Very good. I'm just only 1 because it's searchable. Then we have 3 copies of Bond between Teacher and Student. If you control a Dark Magician, you can special 1 Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So in other words, if a Dark Magician Girl exists in any capacity other than banished, you can just bring it out. But then, there's an additional effect. After you do that, you can then set 1 Dark Magic Attack, which we just talked about, Dark Burning Attack, Dark Burning Magic, or Dark Magic Trend Burst directly from your deck. That's 4 specific cards that this can just bring out in addition to Dark Magician Girl. And we'll talk about one of those right now. Dark Magic Trend Burst. You can target 1 Dark Magician you control. It gains attack equal to the combined attack of all Dark Magician Girls currently on the field and in the graveyard. This is actually really crazy because while there's a hard one to turn on it, the thing is, it doesn't half the amount of damage your opponent takes. It doesn't make it so that targeted monster is something they can attack. No, it just makes it so that one gains all this attack and you can still attack with any other monsters you have. And given that all the Dark Magician Girls have a minimum 2,000 attack, you can have these Dark Magicians reach very high numbers, especially if you do this immediately after you use Bond between Teacher and Student, which is going to guarantee you have a Dark Magician Girl on the field. And if you have a Dark Magician in the graveyard, it's going to just make the attack even greater because Dark Magician Girl is going to be getting attack based off the ones in the graveyard. And now on to basically the monster born of the deck. Dark Magic Veil. Pay 1,000 life points, special 1 Dark Spellcaster from your hand or graveyard. I want this instead of Monster Reborn because while there is life point cost, it can help you unbrick your hand as opposed to just revive from the graveyard. Because you very much need Dark Magician to be on the field, so if you draw Dark Magician, this is a useful way to bring it out. Then we got 2 copies of Dark Magic Inheritance. It's a quick play. You banish 2 spell cards from your graveyard, and then add 1 spell trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl from your deck to your hand. Very straightforward. Just a really good search. Then Illusion Magic. With this one, tribute 1 spellcaster you control. Add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is very useful for a trap card we're going to get to later, which requires you have them in your hand. And here's the other card you can search with the effect of Bond between Teacher and Student. Dark Burning Magic. Let's get into why this thing's insane. First off, it's a quick play spell. If you control monsters whose original names are Dark Magician and Dark Magician Guard specifically, destroy all cards your opponent controls. It's a searchable, quick play, short circuit, which can be completely set up by having Dark Magician and Bond between teacher and student, which because that card lists specifically Dark Magician on it, is very searchable. This is really good disruption. Now we have 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle. The way this card works is it's a continuous spell, and upon activation, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of those cards that's either a Dark Magician or specifically lists Dark Magician to your hand. Put the other remaining cards on top of your deck in any order. And onto the continuous effect, if you summon a Dark Magician, you can target one card your opponent controls and banish that target. So it's immediately just a power duality, with the additional effect of being able to banish once per turn whenever you summon. That's actually very useful. Then we got Dark Renewal. With this one, when your opponent normal or special summons a monster or monsters, target one of those monsters and one spellcaster monster you control, send both those targets to the graveyard, then you can special one dark spellcaster from your deck or graveyard. Which is really good if they if they use a Stratos card. You're going to be able to destroy that monster, not destroy, yes, send to the grave. And you'll most likely, if you had like a Dark Magician or some other Dark Spellcaster, you can just revive that card you sent to the graveyard immediately after this because it's a Dark Spellcaster that's now in your graveyard. Pretty much means you can do that with no cost to yourself. Then, Magician Navigation. This is one that's useful for losing magic. Special on one Dark Magician from your hand, then special on one level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster monster from your deck. Yeah, it's just really good at getting 2 Dark Magicians on the field during your opponent's turn because it's very much searchable. And there's a good chance you're going to have a Dark Magician in your hand because if you didn't draw it, you could search out with Illusion Magic or by the effect of Apprentice Illusion Magician. But there's also a graveyard effect to this, which is a quick play saying that you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up spell trap card your opponent controls. That targeted card has its effects negated until the end of this turn. Because this is a quick play, you can just chain this to the activation of a spell card and just negate that, meaning it can be very good negation or disruption. Rather. Finally, we got 2 copies of the trap card Eternal Soul. The way Eternal Soul works is every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Yes, that is kind of crazy to begin with. Dark Magicians are now completely unaffected. Then, getting into the other effects, okay, let's get the downside out of the way. If this card is removed from the field, or yes, leaves the field by any capacity, destroy all monsters you control. That's a big downside. But still, the protection is very good, and there's a way to help protect this from leaving the field. But also, once per turn, you can use one of these 2 effects. You can either special a Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, pretty much meaning you have a continuous version of Dark Magic Veil. Or you could add 1 Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Lives. We don't want 1,000 Lives, but we do want the 1 copy of Dark Magic Attack. Then, on to the extra deck. First off, we won 1 Crowley, the First Prophecy. So this just takes any two spellcaster monsters, and when this card is link summoned, you can reveal three spellbook cards with different names from your deck. Your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand, which, like I said, the three that we won are Secrets, Magician, and Knowledge. So either way, you're gonna get whichever one you want. They give you Knowledge, good, that's one you need. If they give you Magician or Secrets, you can still just get out Knowledge. But the additional effect that's very useful for this deck is that you can normal summon level 5 or higher spellcast monsters without tribute. Yeah, given how many high level ones are on this deck, that is very much necessary. Or at least very beneficial. Not sure how often it's going to be ever brought out, given again you have to get them on the field first before you can make the link, but it's still a good option. Then we got Daybreaker, the Signing Magical Warrior. Again, it's a link to that takes spellcasters specifically, so it's easy in making the deck and it frees up your monster zones. When this is link summoned, similar to the original Breaker, it gains 1 spell counter and it gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. The following two effects you can only use once per turn. That being 1, when a spellcaster is special into a zone this points to, it gains a counter, and 2, you can remove 2 spell counters from this card to then target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Yeah, not sure how you're going to bring that up, but the point is it just frees up zones for the same reason as Crowley, because you have a lot of other extra cards, so it's useful to have the additional extra monster zone. Now, because we do have Dark Magician Goal and Apprentice Illusion, both of which are level 6 spellcasters, we won Nuito, the Moral Leader. Takes 2 specifically level 6 spellcasters, and once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate it, and then destroy that card. Just a really solid negation. Then we got Ebon High Magician. Takes 2 level 7 spellcasters. While it has Xyz material, you can activate a quick play spell card or trap card from your hand during your opponent's turn by detaching 1 Xyz material from this card. And if this Xyz summon card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if it's destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Dark Spellcaster or monster from your hand or deck, then destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Regular floating effect is 300 defense, meaning there's a chance it could stay around for a while. And the fact that you can use quick plays and trap cards from your hand during your opponent's turn, that can work really well, as you can get around like spell trap removal. Definitely a good option. Then we got Ebon Illusion Magician. This rank 7 states that you can, let's see. Yeah, once per turn you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, special on 1 spellcaster or normal monster from your hand or deck, so it's an easy way to bring out Dark Magician itself. And when a spellcaster or normal monster declares an attack, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. So yeah, between this and Dark Magical or Circle, you can get a lot of banishes on your opponent's cards. Then, well, we're running level 7, so why not go with Big Eye? So Big Eye is another Dark Spellcaster. Takes 2 level 7 monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 extra material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Take control of that monster. But this card cannot attack the turn you use this effect. Yeah, just monster stealing. Very simple, very effective. And now on to the Eye of Tamaya's targets. First off, we have the Dark Magician Girl of Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. With this one, once per turn as a quick effect, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then target and destroy one card on the field. Yeah, straightforward. Then we got Amulet Dragon. This one has train item attack, and the interesting thing about this one is if this card is special summoned, you can target any number of spell cards in any graveyard, so yours and your opponent's, banish those targets, and if you do, this card gains 100 attack for each banished card. And that was banished by that effect. And finally, if this card is destroyed, you can just revive one spellcaster monster from your graveyard. It can be very high attack, and if your opponent has spell cards in the graveyard they could use later on, they can potentially just remove those. And a floating effect to bring out any of your other spellcasters. Very useful. Don't see a downside of that. And finally, okay, second to last. We got Dark Paladin. Dark Paladin is train 900 attack, similar to Amulet Dragon. If your opponent would activate and a spell card, you can discard one card, negate the activation, then destroy that card. And additionally, this card gains 500 attack for each dragon type monster on the field or in either player's graveyard. At which point, Amulet Dragon and the Dragon Knights can prove very beneficial for upping this thing's attack. There's very much a beatdown option with this between Dark Magic Trend Burst and just the high attack fusions. But finally, we got what I think is the most important of the fusions, Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. This card's name becomes Dark Magician on the field. Very good, because it allows it... Actually, you can use the Trend Burst on this one to have this 3000 attack monster gain attack for every single Dark Magician Girl on the field and the graveyard, which has potential to make this one just really powerful. Because base 3000 gains 2000 for each Dark Magician Girl at minimum. Yeah, I'd say that's crazy, especially given that you still have a 2000 attack Dark Magician Girl on the field if you used bonds between teacher and student. Which, because this is Dark Magician, it can work with. But finally, the most important effect is that your opponent cannot target spell trap cards you control with effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Meaning that the downside of Eternal Soul is no longer a downside. But yeah, that's my Dark Magician deck profile. Tell me what you think about it, if there's anything you think I should change about it. But I like how it is at the moment, and I think it's fairly consistent. Okay, there's the brick factor, but that's kind of to be expected with Dark Magician, given that it's focused on a level 7 monster that doesn't have an effect to bring itself out. But anyway, like I said, that's all for this time. Thanks for watching.